Hey friends, and welcome back to Gay2k. In this episode, I sit down with Alex once more and we discuss the 1995 film Too Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. There's a lot to be said about this film, some good, some bad. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you have an awesome time listening. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Gay2k. I'm Sarah,
Hi, I'm Alex. Hey, buddies.
and we're here for your millennial nostalgic purposes. Today we're discussing the movie To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar.
Okay. Do you remember the first time that you saw a drag queen in the media? Like
Oh
not in real
yeah,
life, like on
no, I
television,
don't know. We
movies?
talked. Maybe it's Mrs. Doubtfire, but I'm not entirely sure when that movie came out because it could easily be this movie. So I'm gonna look right now on my personal cellular device to check.
I asked the question and then we figured out we needed to know the date. And
1993. This was 1995. So yes, the first time I saw a person performing in drag on a movie or film was probably Mrs. Doubtfire. It might have been something before, but not something that I thought much about. Like if I could like Some Like It Hot, I might have seen, but I wasn't paying attention to the drag characters if I was paying attention to the movie at all. Whereas Mrs. Doubtfire, I was definitely watching that movie.
mhm.
Um, and since it was a family movie, I was allowed to watch it, right? At 7 or 6 or whatever I would have been in that time in 1993. But when I think drag queens in movies, my earliest memory has to be this one. Like I can't think of another time. Like
You watched this one in 2000, like five, six? Or when did you watch it for the first time? You
no,
watched it
I
when it came
was
out?
yes,
Whoa,
yes.
I didn't know
Okay.
that.
So yeah, no, let's talk about I didn't see it in the movie theaters.
Okay.
There's no way I saw it in the movie theaters or anything. But my mom, big Patrick Swayze fan. So I'm pretty sure we had this on VHS or we recorded it off of one of the movie channels or something. I kind of think we might have just recorded it off of cable because some of the lines I know were different. Like the get your hand off my dick, buddy. I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the version that I watched as a kid.
Mhm.
So it was a little bit edited, but I don't remember um, much of it being different. But yeah, Patrick Swayze, since he was a handsome man and my mom liked how he looked, I got to watch a lot of his films. And um, I've said this before, my mom was pretty cool with gay culture, like, never was very anti gay guys, especially in movies or any of that, was very supportive of that kind of story. Um, So yeah, no, I was absolutely. That's why I'm saying like this was the first time I was seeing drag. Like this was absolutely the first time I was seeing drag.
I think now that we're talking, I think I'd seen drag a lot in cartoons.
Bugs Bunny in a
Yeah.
dress. Yes, I've seen Bugs Bunny in a dress. You're right.
Or like gosh, I can't remember it, but it's some sort of chase scene. Beauty and the Beast. The wardrobe comes down and grabs the pillager, shakes him up, and throws him out. And like, yeah, and there's like this little
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
He looks at what he's been changed into
But
and he
that could
screams.
absolutely be a whole deep dive that we could take
That's it.
about.
That's drag. That's not
Yeah.
even a drag queen.
Yeah.
I didn't see Tu Wong Fu until college. And so before that, I think the first movie I'd seen drag in was The Birdcage for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
And Robin Williams is just not handsome enough to grab my mother's attention for multiple viewings. So that's why I remember seeing the Birdcage once. It was like we watched it and it
Oh,
was like
of
a
course,
blip
yes. The
on the radar.
drag queen was the Birdcage, but in drag, yes, definitely in live action, it was him as well.
Yeah. Doubtfire for sure.
The
And we
Doubtfire.
can question till the end of time. The
What is
purpose,
drag?
the purpose of what drag is, and that. But it is from the audience perspective. You are watching a drag performance because you are watching a man in a dress, as
Mhm.
they would describe it in To Wong Foo, just a man in a dress.
Just a man in a dress.
Um,
Insert clip where she tells us everything that there is to know about the drag queen classifications.
do you not know them? We can talk about that in a minute. We'll get into the movie in a bit. Um, I do want to talk a little bit more, just because I already said it, about Patrick Swayze and my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Swayze opened a lot of doorways for me, including my first same-sex kiss in a film that I saw was most likely 100% Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg. The first time I saw two women kiss in a film was most likely 100% Whoopi Goldberg and Demi Moore in Ghost. Um, yeah, some sort of gay awakening, like excused as, oh, she's possessed by the spirit of Patrick Swayze's character, but they're still kissing. And then like as I get older and kind of reflect on that, like how does that affect my affect or inform my gender identity? I don't know. Not directly, but makes me think about it a little
I
differently.
yeah, I do remember like the first time I saw that, I was like, oh no, no, it's not two women kissing. They must have done it Patrick Swayze and oh my gosh, I can't remember her name, but they kissed and then they
Mm-hmm.
superimposed Whoopi Goldberg on there, not the other way
Mm-hmm.
around. But then I watched it again and I was like, oh no, those lips are definitely like clicking apart, like juicy clipping apart.
Yeah, there's a moment for sure. We could find a clip for that for sure. Um, but yeah, so To Wong Foo. I was watching it as a child the first time, which actually it makes really sense because I wouldn't have introduced you to Wong Fu, because at that time when we were friends, I very much associated that movie with my mother, probably, and anything related to Patrick Swayze. I was like, I don't know, like that's not even gay.
That's not
There's
even
not
gay.
even dudes that kiss in that movie.
That was a pretty big
But then you were saying
that's a big
about,
qualifier for it being gay is if two men kiss, but is drag gay was kind of somewhere where my brain went as well. Like I'm not I don't want to dress like as a girl. I mean, I will to fit in. My foster mom got me a wig and I got to like brush it and it just never went anywhere. It's also not my
oh,
color.
that's hilarious. Like as a form of acceptance, she was
Yeah.
like, I got you this wig. That's
I put her through it.
adorable.
I put her through it and she came out the other end wiser, happier, nicer.
That's nice.
I don't know nicer. She's a great woman.
Hmm.
She is perfect. um but
But
yeah, I mean that I didn't think of it as gay either. Now that we're talking about where our mind was when I watched it for the first time. Um, yeah, I I remember the first time I watched it, I was expecting something gay to happen. Um, yeah, there's like a lot of
yeah,
dudes following
yeah, if
her,
anything
and then
happens, it happens off screen for sure. Where do her and Bobby, okay, this
how did Bobby not know? Oh, Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee and her, he picks her up when some other dudes are stalking
Who's
her.
her? What's her name?
Chi Chi,
Chi Chi.
Chi. Bobby picks up Chi Chi Rodriguez and they go somewhere. And the whole time they're gone, because the group of guys that harassing her had already walked back to town on their feet and done the whole shopping montage, gawking at the women, right? Bobby and Chi Chi are still gone. Something happened.
That changed Bobby's life
There
forever.
is something that happened. It might not have been enough, it might not have been enough for him to understand Chi-Chi's anatomy fully, but something happened during that time that definitely was not PG-13 enough to be on screen. I'm just,
That makes sense. They weren't holding hands. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I kept on expecting something gay to happen with the kid who stuttered in the shop. I don't think he
Mm-hmm.
gets a name, but he was so interesting and he had such a quick sense of style.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that was just um, a moment of like maternal connection from Patrick Swayze's character.
Hmm.
And yeah, not so much like I see you as gay, but in the moment when I watched it, for me, it was her calling him out and like, I see you,
Yeah,
be true to yourself. And now all of a sudden he's out in a
for
small town.
sure. For
The
sure. I don't know. I don't know. We don't know the rest of his story. Um, okay, so let's just go into
rest is still
let's go
written.
back and go into the film. I did read, I don't remember the author's name. Hold on, I want to read a little bit about why the film was made. Some people will say, still to this day, that it's a response to Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which happened in 1994 and was a surprisingly big hit for how low budget it was. Um, the author that wrote the story doesn't claim Priscilla, Queen of the Desert because he was working on it before then, but the studios obviously could have picked it up because of the success of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. But what he says, Douglas Carter Bean, who wrote To Wong Foo Things for Everything, actually originally envisioned it as a stage play, but obviously a car doesn't fit on stage, so that was a little hard to do. So he kind of shifted his gaze then to film. He was inspired by anti-gay propaganda films, particularly one called The Gay Agenda, in which it had a scene where, and this is from him being said, there's a scene where they show drag queens going through a town, and the narrator is warning the viewers that these people will take over your town. And I thought, well, that would be fun.
That would be really fucking fun.
So he ran with that, and that's the premise of To Wong Fu Things for Everything. So we'll just go over from the top
The
what
synopsis of the plot.
happens. Yeah. To Wong Fu stars Snipes and Swayze, who were both known as action stars, or in Swayze's part, also kind of a rom-com guy because of the dirty dancing, and Ghost.
And Ghost.
So, but very much two known names. The trailer for To Wong Fu Everything is also the trailer for To Wong Fu Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar highlights the fact that these guys are action stars. I'm gonna show Alex it real quick and then we can talk about it.
I haven't looked for it.
It's so funny.
About it. I haven't looked about it. It wasn't recording all along.
No, it was. So Alex and I just rewatched the trailer, and first of all, it's a trailer from 1995, so it has the narrator voice,
The Mr. Movie tone voice.
very much a
Yeah.
Mr. Movie phone voice, and
Movie phone.
it's like Wesley Snipes, you know him as an action star, Patrick Swayze, a heartthrob,
Local heartthrob.
heartthrob, and action star take on the most physically challenging role of their lives, and then it cuts to a shot of them in drag.
Being beautiful women.
Yeah.
Toughest.
So definitely the movie leaned on the hype of the big names in it. But and I know like right, like cishet men, but that movie is what the only thing that made it accessible for me at a young age.
Mhm.
So
A lot of gay films got made in the 90s. That one was big because it was cishet men.
a lot of gay films got made in the 90s.
Well, I mean, a lot. Yeah, more than I watched, honestly.
A
in the
lot
90s.
of independent, yes, yes, a lot of independent gay films were being made. Not very many that led to an Oscar nomination for Patrick Swayze. Not very many that would have been watched by housewives with their 10-year-old kid.
Not enough mainstream, yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
We're talking about the opening of
Yes, okay. So now that we've seen the trailer, the film opens very much leaning on how buff these guys are. We see Patrick Swayze step out of the shower and quickly wrap a towel around his waist to cover his naughty bits. And then, we see him go to the counter and put on like a headband that pulls his hair back so it's easier to wear a wig. And he says the line, "Here comes mama." And quickly it snaps to a montage of him and Wesley Snipes becoming Vita Boheme and
Maxima
Maxima
Jackson.
Jackson. Then we see them, the next time we see them is at the pageant. Um, I don't even remember what the
Winning.
pageant was called, but they're both winning this local pageant that will then lead them to California. Important to note, RuPaul is the person who is giving them the award. She comes down from the sky. Ladies and gentlemen, now presenting Rachel Tension. Her name is Rachel Tension, and she's wearing like the rebel flag as
Yeah.
her dress. Um, brave as hell drag name. Just Rachel Tension. I was laughing so hard. Love RuPaul for that. Yeah, just
Yeah.
great. Um, so she comes down from the ceiling, and it turns out they both won, and they both had to drive across the country. And on their way back to someone's apartment, Vita's apartment,
Yeah.
um, they meet Miss Chichi Rodriguez
Oh,
crying on the steps.
oh, little Latin boy. Little
Little
Latin boy, why are you crying?
little Latin boy in a dress. Why are
Well,
you crying?
yeah. And then she explains her sob story and uh, through wit and charm and a whole lot of complaining and a lot of Vita's like sadness, like pity. Um, they decide to take her along and teach her how to be a real drag queen and let her know, like, you're not doing a whole lot. I think you need to say like the whole line, but yeah. So she comes along and they have the start of a fabulous adventure all the way to California. But
Yeah. So I think what you're looking for is that's actually like after they get the car, and they decide to go with the fabulous pretty car, which is not reliable, which is a plot point.
mhm.
So that's important to remember.
They make the first they make it a first choice that I identified, like, okay, this is a gay question that I have to make. Like I identified within, like, okay, sensible, reliable, or what do they call how do they call the red Corvette? Stylish,
It's
something
not
is
a red
stylish.
Corvette. It's like
Or
a yeah. It's
I have
a
no cars.
it's a
I
road
still don't know
yacht.
cars.
It's definitely
Road
not. It's not
yacht.
even red. It's like yellow. I don't know what kind of car
Um,
it is, but it's not
it
red.
is yellow.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's
Um.
beautiful. But like, okay, I don't know, we'll cut this out. But yeah, I really did have to put myself in that place. Like, this is
Yeah,
what being a
sensible. Yeah, no. So they're sitting in the car that they decide to buy, and they look over at the Toyota Corolla, which the salesman is like, "You ladies need to go with this. It's reliable, blah 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 blah." And they're looking in the mirror and they see themselves sitting in this car, and they say some witty line about choosing the stylish thing over the sensible Corolla, and then they drive off in it. And while they're driving, Chichi Rodriguez calls herself a drag queen, and the other two were like, no, you're not, you're a boy in the dress. And then they decide that it's okay, maybe you're a drag princess, and there are steps that you have to follow. But before they give her the steps, they break down in perhaps problematic terms, but easily accessible terms. They break down what being a transsexual is, which they define as um,
someone who goes under
they
surgery.
say when a boy feels like he's a girl inside and goes under and has a little procedure. Wesley Snipes delivering this line is pretty when a boy feels like he's a girl inside and has a little procedure, that's a transsexual, which yeah, is problematic, but absolutely would have been the first time I heard that term. Um, a transvestite is a straight man who wears a dress for sexual satisfaction for to get his kinks, I think is probably what she
Yeah.
says. And then a drag queen is, and this is probably the funniest one. When a gay man has too much style for one gender, that is a drag queen. Um, sure, right? That's a working framework for people who are straight, who haven't encountered any of these terms. Questionable, yes, but you know what?
A start.
It's a start, and it's not immediately dangerous for people to think of people that way.
Is
Um,
limiting, but like they really don't have anywhere else to go. Like they've
mhm,
not started thinking about it or identifying the differences.
mhm.
At that time too, like real life people in cross-dressing, like he called that a cross-dresser. We made jokes about that on television around the same time, like on Married with Children, or seeing a person on Cops and really not knowing what the gender
Yeah.
identity was.
But there was also a trend in TV shows in the 70s and 80s of having a post-operation transsexual, usually played by a woman, make an appearance on a TV show.
Yeah.
And like in The Jeffersons, he has to like process what that's like. They do the same thing in Golden Girls. There's probably even
Mm-hmm.
more examples than just those two. Um,
So you're right. They
but
are women.
yeah,
Yeah. Are played by.
they're played by cis women,
Mm.
um, which yeah, it's also maybe dangerous. We keep going back and forth on these things of like, um, and I think maybe we're finally now where there are enough trans actors where we can say like
Is there
every
something more
time
realistic?
should be played by a trans person
Mm-hmm.
so that there isn't potential harm that comes any more potential harm in a world where there's so much potential harm already to people who identify as trans. Why add to that
Mm-hmm.
potential risk?
We can do more now. That's nice.
Yes, that is nice. So while they're driving, they run into a police officer, Sheriff Dullard. His name is actually Dollard, but his badge was a misprint, which is just weird. Like, why would you wear like there's not like a blank badge? Why would you be wearing a misprint badge? Like, at what point in time is it better to have a misprint name on your badge than just a blank badge? Like that was my adult brain being hung up on that because the reason why people wear badges is so that people can identify the officer they're speaking to.
But what's up with labels,
Sheriff,
anyways?
yeah, Sheriff. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about with Sheriff Dullard and his reaction to,
Not getting to assault a woman on the highway.
yeah. So he pulls them over in the car and asks Vita, Patrick Swayze's character, to step out. And
They're scared, by the way. And
they're terrified. And he also says some random racist stuff, very racist stuff when he pulls them over about how is it possible that these three very different ethnic women are driving around together at night. And then he attempts to assault Vita, and Vita defends herself and pushes them off. Police officer Dillard assaults Vita, and Vita pushes him off. She calls for the other girls, Noxima and Chi Chi, and they come running out of the car. And
these medical experts
these
declare that
medical
declare
experts,
him dead.
from not being able to find a pulse when touching him, declare him dead instantly.
He's
And
dead.
yeah, who knows?
It's good comedy. It's
Right.
really funny. She doesn't even know that she's not a drag queen, but she does know that he is dead. It's a great film. It's a great film.
Oh my gosh. So funny. Um, and then
They drive off. They
yeah,
run away. They try to escape the scene. The car starts breaking down, and they end up in a small little town. Luckily, but it is a very bare bones one street town. Um, Fully what 15 people, population less than 25. It's very small. Um, Three or so buildings. And then what do they say? I thought that we just saw in the thing, thought the Dust Bowl had been over with. So they find a mechanic. The mechanic says, it'll take us a while. So they're
well, he
like,
actually says he's so condescending because he's like, actually, he says, it'll take 5 minutes once I get the parts. Like, why? You're talking to a customer. Like, whatever you think of these women,
these career
like,
women from the city.
yeah, these career women from the city, why, like, I don't know. But yeah, instantly they set him up with somebody you don't like because the first time we see Virgil, he's being a dick for
Virgil.
no reason. Um, yeah. And so then they are told that they'll have to spend the next 3 days ish in this little sleepy town in the middle of nowhere. Literally, they don't even know where they are because they threw away their map earlier in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So not even sure what state they're in. It doesn't ever say. I think that's the whole point is that it could be in a little sleepy town. Um,
Drag queens are coming for your town. These drag queens are coming for your town. They're gonna dress it up like dolls. So they get a hotel room. They get the presidential suite, and I don't know the actress's name.
Stockard Channing.
Stockard Channing. Um, so they find the only hotel in this little town. Stockard Channing is the
Yeah, it's probably more like a bed and breakfast where like you can stop in and stay for a night and then like, she'd cook you up a meal and then you can be on your way kind of thing. It's definitely like attached to their house, which is probably also his shop because she's married to the mechanic.
yeah.
But
This is how
yeah,
he makes
it's
the
like a
money.
dingy,
It's part of his grift.
yeah, it's a dingy room
She's a
and
barefoot trad wife with a monotone handkerchief that she's wearing. She
mhm,
shows them up to the presidential suite, which does happen to have 4 beds or three
mhm.
beds.
Yeah, at least
And
3 beds. Yeah.
um, yeah, and the 3 women are displeased, very upset. But
Mhm.
they Vita, with her endless amount of compassion and energy and love for life, commands them to put their powers to work and to make the best of their day and turn that frown upside down. So they have another montage.
Yeah.
Is it the Wonder Woman montage?
Yes.
Yeah. And they're just like flinging scarves, and it's awesome.
Literally
It's
like
Mary
magic.
Poppins.
It's very Mary Poppins. They like throw stuff and it just sticks to the wall and it's an excellent montage.
Yeah.
So much gay magic happening.
And then they just collapse together in the bed, like, oh, we just did so much. And
Yes, it's great.
yeah, I
Um,
remember just loving that moment. It made me
mhm.
glow. Look at my gay magic up on the screen. That can be me.
Oh man, that scene is so great. Just adorable. And like the town, like everybody is a little wary of them, but also just like completely fascinated by these career women from New York. Like,
it is like the little munchkins in The Wizard of Oz. Like they kind of come creeping out and investigate, like, what's going on? Who are these people? Let's kind of follow them around town, see what these magical,
like when
beautiful
the
women
house
are.
falls. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, literally out of this world. Nothing they've seen before. That's it. Um, so they do kind of take over this town. We see a lot of fun moments. Just them glamorizing this town from top to bottom. There is a little bit of a love triangle. In Okay, now why would they, other than just for it to be funny? There is a male character who is interested in Chi Chi called
Bobby
Bobby
Lee.
Lee, and the
Oh,
female
Bobby
character
Lee.
who's interested in him is called Bobby Ray. Like, okay, that's funny. Like that's weird, small town. Like there a great Robert that once was something in this town?
They're in Robertson. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Sorry, I just Robert E. Lee.
uh, oh, yeah. Okay, absolutely.
So this
I
guy
choose
and
to
this
believe that.
girl are named after the Confederate General Robert E. Lee.
Thanks to Rachel Tension for.
Oh, Miss Rachel Tinson. Um,
Okay, so Bobby Lee, there's a love triangle
there's a love
triangle
triangle.
between Chi Chi,
Chi Chi,
Bobby Lee, and Bobby Ray,
right?
two
Kind of
locals.
tangential to everything else that's going on with them trying to get out of town. Each of the three women in drag, Vita, Noxima, and Chi Chi, have their own side stories, but Chi Chi is a love triangle in which she is walking in this small town by herself through some fields of some sort, which seems like a great choice to make. But I don't think Chi Chi cares much about anything. And some of the other locals are following her and harassing her. And Bobby Lee pulls up in his pickup truck like knight in shining pickup truck style is what they call it. And then they ride off. And after having met her once, he's painted some billboard out in the middle of nowhere.
John Leguizamo as a beautiful woman. We have not said his name. John Leguizamo is Chi
Yeah, that's true. We
Chi.
haven't even talked about John Leguizamo, who was not much of anything yet. I don't think Romeo plus Juliet
No,
had happened yet.
he had been in a lot of films already.
Yeah,
He
he was
was
acting, but he wasn't like a big
star yet. Yeah,
name. I don't even really know. Like, I'm like, what is his breakthrough roles? I feel like he just played supporting actors for forever, and then sometime along the road got bigger parts, right? Which is
Spawn.
that had to be pretty close to the same time,
Yeah,
like 1 or 2 years in
just
either direction. Yeah.
just doing drag. I can't unsee John Leguizamo sidetrack. I can't see unsee him as a woman ever since To Wong Foo because that was the first film that I saw him a lot in. So everything
Yeah,
else is just colors of Chi Chi.
I'm so glad you're saying this because for all of the trash talk they do about Chi Chi Rodriguez, she's the only one that's passing. Like, let's be real. Like, are you kidding me? There's no
She
way.
looks like my aunt. She
Yeah.
looks like my aunt when she was maybe that's not gonna get on there. She's never gonna watch this. It looks like my Aunt Sylvia, like as a young teen, 20 something year old. Just huge
Yeah.
body, just beautiful. Like all the curves,
Yeah.
all the big hair,
Yeah. And
beautiful
like
red lips,
the
big eyebrows, all that stuff.
yeah. And like her jawline isn't as harsh, her muscles aren't crazy.
No,
Like, yeah, no. Chi Chi Rodriguez
it's
is
a
the
beautiful
only
woman.
one that's passing in that town. Um, Tangential,
She's also not 6 feet tall.
which is weird because John Leguizamo is tall. I kept thinking this the entire time. Like they're all around the same height. Like, do they put the others in like slightly taller heels? Like I wasn't watching, but I'm wondering if they just had like John Leguizamo when they were doing like mid shots and up, like standing around in flats. um, because he is a tall man.
He's slightly taller than Bobby Lee.
Yeah,
She's slightly taller than Bobby Lee.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's movie making magic that I don't have to always pay attention to. Their love triangle. Yeah. He paints a billboard over a billboard that says something about we all love Coca-Cola and it all says like we all love Chi-Chi or something. Um and then they disappear for hours. They're gone. And while they're gone doing whatever it is they're doing in that field, undetermined something that they're doing in that field, Vita and Noxzema have a makeover montage in the um, clothing store with all of the women in town. And that's when they meet. If you want to talk about
The shop attendant is this quiet, meek guy who reads. I think he's reading. I don't
I don't think
remember.
he's
Like
reading anything when they first meet him.
you don't.
He's just instantly stuttering.
Yeah,
Or maybe he's reading the newspaper, but he's not.
he's just a stuttering, quiet boy, and
Mm,
they look around, they take charge, and they're asking for things. It's like, well, I don't think we have what you're looking for, but we might have some old stuff upstairs, things that we just haven't thrown out. And then they see all these retro things from the 70s and beyond. And yeah, they collect all these items. Um, is but they I thought they went there for decorations and stuff for the party, the town party.
oh yeah, it's all tied into. It is part of their
Yeah.
makeover because they go to the hair salon right before it. It's all tied into the strawberry festival,
The strawberry
which
festival.
yeah, the town didn't have a theme for, and
They never ever had a theme
they
for it
never
because
had
the
a theme
theme
for
was
it.
always strawberries.
The theme was strawberries, which was fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that,
But
unless you know.
unless you're a queen from New York City who needs to change things and turn your town upside down.
Mm,
And so they help them make a theme. And they're like, well, I don't know what a theme is, yada, yada, yada. It's a
mm.
really cute scene. And they're like, okay, well, describe strawberries for me. When you think about strawberries, what comes to mind? So, well, strawberries are red.
Hmm.
Okay, great. Strawberries are red.
Hmm.
I'm like, no, no, let's keep on being encouraging. This whole Vita Noxzema thing is Vita encouraging Noxzema to be softer, more
Hmm.
of a political prowess and socially acceptable or whatever.
Hmm.
And Noxzema is just around for fun and she's laughing about it, rolling her
Hmm.
eyes, and she just keeps on going, keep going. And someone says, well, wild strawberries. Like, well, there's your theme, red and wild, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Red
that's
and
it.
Wild. That's your theme.
Red and wild, that's your
Red and
theme.
Wild. That is your theme. Um,
And they get really excited about it. All these women who haven't really thought about the joy in their everyday things are seeing things in a brand new light. And
mhm.
another gay superpower that they wanted us to know, us young homosexuals, is that we can be encouraging cheerleaders and support other people, make them see there's just a little bit more to the world around them. So yeah.
It's a birding. Uh,
So that's why they go to that shop and they
mhm.
meet the shopkeep. And as they're getting dressed, they're realizing like, wow, there's something here for everybody. Something fits everybody. They have a catwalk
Yeah.
scene and they're gorgeous and they're really feeling themselves.
Mhm.
The single women and the local boy, who I really thought was going to be a queer character, never really got more lines than that. He just had his self acceptance immediately, and
Well, she gave him a book, um, Donna Versace, but Donna Versace, right?
something I don't know. I don't remember that. I
I
didn't pay
don't
attention
know.
to it.
She gave Vita Bohem gives the boy a book to read, and the book is about fashion, and his stutter goes away when he's reading that book out loud, which I think is in itself, you could be like, oh yeah, no, he was stuttering because he was gay. Like, like I think you could put anything as the nail in his coffin. His
Yeah.
dressing, his stuttering going away once he is exploring fashion further and gaining more confidence. Who knows,
In
right?
my
But
gay brain, it was if you don't make out, you're not gay. So I just assumed he didn't fall in love with anybody or have any real story of his own, just a coming out sort of thing. I
mm-hmm,
assumed it was just the magical power of being a positive drag
mm-hmm.
queen, that you could heal someone from their stutter and their awkwardness and loneliness by giving them.
Right. And so Chi Chi and Bobby Lee are gone that entire time.
You're obsessed with
I
what they're doing
just
in the field.
something has to be going on during that amount of time. Maybe they're just talking, right?
Throwing
Whatever.
rocks.
Who knows? Some level of romance got cut out of this movie that happened during that,
Because it
scene
gets
in the
more
field.
intense.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
mean, and I'm sure it was mostly innocent, mostly probably sweet nothings, maybe even like a tiny
they're
kiss.
teenagers.
He's a teenager for sure. I don't know about Chi Chi. I don't know how, I mean, they keep referring to him as a boy. He's definitely younger than the other two, but um, let's talk for a moment tangentially. And I know part of it is plot, but they're never outside of their drag after they get in drag the first time. They're never not in drag. And that's true of like when they're driving before the car breaks down. It's plot wise excused when they're in the town.
Mhm.
But like even when that cop pulls them over, why are they in drag
All night.
driving through the town at night?
We have
Like
talked about this.
like
We have talked about
so
this.
hot in those wigs in that car,
Full makeup
full makeup.
in the sun, in the
There
bright sunny light.
is no reason other than fear of audience stupidity and that plot point about then why would he pull them over and assault them? But
Yeah, I think this is drag as fantasy for real.
mhm,
It's I can't speak to the drag queen experience. We would modern day code it as like these are not drag queens. These
mhm.
are women of some variety. There's a womanhood in their gender identity or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think they all play it differently.
Hmm.
I think watching it this latest time, I was really like, there's some trans element to Vita.
Hmm.
I think she has a specific type of woman that she is. Um, and it's different. I think it's, it's not like she reads less like, and I do think this was an acting choice. She reads less like a gay man,
And more like a conservative woman.
and more like a conservative woman. Yeah. Whereas Wesley Snipes is a sassy as shit drag queen. And that to
Mhm.
me rings true of stereotypes of black gay men of the 90s.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the whole thing, there's something weird going on. If you're taking it at face value, there's something weird going on with gender exaggerated stereotypes, including like snapping of fingers and stuff like that. She's great.
She's also a grounded person in reality. She did not have, that's what I loved about
She's
her, is that
also
she was a
racist.
realist. She was the realist for the 90s. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything about her was some form of I accept the things I have to do to protect myself
Mm-hmm.
as not just a burden, but something that can be fabulous.
Yeah. She Vita Vita's side story is protecting Stockard Channing's character from her husband who is abusive. And during the scene where they can hear Virgil attacking his wife from the presidential suite of the hotel that they're in, they basically just take turns insulting each other, except for Noxzema bows out very quickly by just being like, when we do stuff like that, we get killed. um, so don't do it. And I really like that scene a lot. I like Noxema's tone in it. I think that is a brilliantly acted scene by Patrick Swayze. My like heart hurts. She gets her wig snatched by the chandelier, and like, oof, such an intense moment for the
Because
three of
yeah,
them.
because they're like attacking each other at the
Mm-hmm.
most possible. Vita is so stressed out, realizing that someone is in danger,
Mm-hmm.
and she really needs someone to help, and no one is going to help her. It gives
Mm-hmm.
her panic. It
Yeah,
sends her somewhere in her backstory,
for sure.
and they do attack each other. They point the
Mm-hmm.
fingers and like, you always do this, you always do this. Well, at
Mm-hmm.
least I'm not like this, and yada yada yada. And it comes down to like the fight becomes about their gender, about their identity.
Mm-hmm.
And Vita is able to go down there because she knows when the wig is snatched who she really is
Mm-hmm.
and what her power is. And it's its own complicated story made for cis people, but I think it's general in its tone enough that I was like, okay, I'm seeing
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze give me another um, queer value to have to stand up for people, and you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
even if I wear a dress, stand up for
Isn't
others.
that just a thing too? I don't know if that's like so much of like who we are and the media we saw, but like I don't know. We were such activists. Even like what we go in to do for work reflects how much we value protecting those who are
Needing more.
needing more than we are.
Nagzima's side story
Mm-hmm.
is, I think, not as clear to me as the other ones. Nagzima's character is giant, huge black woman with gigantic musculature,
Mm-hmm.
like physically fit. Um, and there's no hiding that. And she finds a little old lady and starts chasing her around after she drops a little picture. And the meek, quiet 4 foot woman, I'm sure she's not 4 foot, but she is.
Compared to Wesley Snipes, she's 4 foot. Yeah.
um, she's just. And I remember my boyfriend at the time and I always making that comment, like, I'm going to get you. You can't run away from me. No, 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 no. And, when they do finally catch up, um, the woman is sitting with her book, and Noxzema tries to have a conversation. And there's really no clarity on like why she was so fascinated. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
funny little white lady. I'm gonna get you, little white lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for her, she has an opportunity to see people beyond their color and the audience really gets a chance to
Hmm.
see that she is not dangerous.
Yeah.
She's not a terrifying, gonna kill you African American person.
Hmm.
She is a nice lady
Yeah, that
who
scene is really cute for
and
sure.
and they start connecting on actors from certain movies.
Hmm.
Um, and the whole time the lady's pretending to not hear or to speak, to be mute and deaf. And Noxzema talks to her anyways.
Dude, I so want to do that when I get older and just pretend that I'm in the state of muteness or catatonia, but really just like stop talking to people. Like that sounds so awesome because there wasn't really, that didn't, and I only say it so glibly because the film did not give any type of reason
It's all for the audience.
medically
Yeah.
or anything because she was just suddenly able to speak when somebody started talking to her about film again. Like,
Because she had nothing interesting to talk
yeah, she was
about with
just
anybody in
done
this
talking to
town.
people in the town about their stupid lives and their drama. So she just shut up for however many years it passed.
And maybe it was just a week.
I don't know.
She could have
They
stopped
never
talking
they
4 days
never said
ago.
when her husband ran off with his secretary or whatever.
Oh yeah, that did
They
happen.
didn't.
Um, no, did that happen? Am
No,
I
they
imagining
said
that?
that
Okay.
when what's her name is the guy, the girl, the blonde lady who ends up with the shopkeeper. She's like
The gossip.
breaking down the gossip,
Yes, that's right.
and she says
Because I had
that she hasn't spoken since her husband ran off with his film distributor.
that's right.
Um, which is yeah, right. Like it could have been months, could
And,
have been years.
and I
We
think
don't
that's
know.
when Noxzema got interested in her because Noxzema
Mm-hmm.
was in the background listening to
Mm-hmm.
that. Well, I had a Mandela effect earlier in this little podcast here, thinking that the Chi Chi Coca-Cola commercial had painted her on there, but it was just Chi Chi. He didn't repaint the woman.
Yeah, no, he just painted over the words. He did not repaint.
I imagined in my head, I
He's a
Mandela
secret
affected it.
artist. I love that for him. No, unfortunately, he
No,
can just spell.
he's just thank goodness they still had that school in that town.
Oh,
um, but yeah, that's their connection is they've become better friends, a transgenerational
it's just a cute. You're right that it is more shallow than the other two story, and that it doesn't move the plot further in any
and
way.
you can't really say that anybody grew because
Yeah,
Noxzema has white friends, and I
yeah,
think Vita's older, so
yeah.
she's a great conversationalist. She's still got great legs, and she can chase after a little lady.
Mm-hmm.
I think the end is that like everyone in a small town has something to gain from hanging with.
Yeah.
Um,
What happens when the gays come to town?
yes,
Yes, exactly. Um, right. And so the climactic events of the film revolve around Vita interfering with Virgil. Virgil then getting pissed off and going to drink. Well, it so happens that he's drinking at the same bar as Sheriff Sheriff
Dollard.
Dollard,
Yeah,
Sheriff Dollard, and Dollard is obsessed.
Deputy
Let's go
Dollard.
back. I think Sheriff
But
Deputy Dollard.
he's not that important. He goes up to a couple of other police officers and gets made fun
Yes.
of.
Okay.
So
So that's what I was gonna say. We need to revisit Dollard. Um, so after the attack, he instantly his side story. He's not seen with the women again because he starts looking for them. Um, when he reports the attack on him, his fellow officers are instantly like, "You got beat up by a woman!" Ha 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 ha. Very dismissive. But then he goes on his own investigation. Now, what does it talk about this? He has a checklist that says like
oh
places
yes,
places for homos or something. I think I took a screenshot of it. And by screenshot, I
they were
literally
not
mean
women. Those were men in dresses. There are men in dresses in your town.
yeah, we'll get there. Okay. So there's this sign. I screenshot it. Places for homos.
Places for
And this is like
homos.
was just shown in the film as on a piece of paper. Sheriff Dollard writes places for homos. One, flower shops. Two, ballet schools. Three, flight attendant lounges. Four, restaurants for brunch is probably what that says. And then I think five is antiques.
Like he really gets like gayer as he like gets truer to like
Yes,
it's
he
really
is
great.
fascinated by these women, right? I mean, obviously it's internalized homophobia probably
Yeah,
because he seems to know a lot about.
that's the script they're using.
Yeah, and then when Virgil, right, after he gets kicked out of his house, after Vita confronts him and kicks his ass, he runs off to this bar and he meets Dollard. But right before that, Dollard is talking about not understanding gay men in a very gay way. He's like two men kissing each other and
He's drunk. He's obsessed, drunk, and talking to himself.
and it's
And then he starts
very,
talking about the sex they would have, like
yeah.
their rough beards rubbing against one another. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that more positively.
Yeah, that guy needs to address things, right? So then
Great
Virgil is
actor.
like, hey, I know exactly where these people are. And he takes them to the town, and
The showdown
the
happens.
showdown happens. And the showdown is so silly cute.
Well, it's on
Every,
the day of the Strawberry Festival.
yes. Oh, that's a good point, though, because everybody is dressed so glamorously because it's the Strawberry Festival. So every single person in town, but let's just start from Sheriff Dollard pulls up, says there are men in dresses in your town, or
Yeah, he pulls out the megaphone and he's screaming like, "Watch out, town! You don't know this, but you are under a lot of danger. There is a reason for high concern. There are men in dresses in your town doing homosexual things, and they need to come out with their hands up or
and he
whatever."
says something about I'm assuming he got it from Virgil, but he says the name Vito Bohem.
Oh yeah,
Vito Bohem has to come out. I need to see Vito Bohem. So then we see the silhouetted character in a red dress with a veil over her face, and the wind's blowing behind her. And
very
Sheriff
beautiful.
stomps up to her and pulls the veil backwards, and boom, it's Stocker Channing. And she's like, I am Vita Bohem. And
I am a drag queen.
yes, and I am a drag queen. And then the whole entire town basically has that
A
same
little coming
moment
out
and just
phrase. I am
all,
Spartacus. It
yes.
was I am Spartacus with drag and beautiful red drag and sometimes just dudes. Like
Mm-hmm.
there was this ally guy, older man who was married to someone else with a little handkerchief.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was gorgeous. And yeah, everyone comes out and says that they're a drag queen. The old lady, she's
Mm-hmm.
a drag queen. And then a
Mm-hmm.
lot of sass, a lot of family fun. And the guy gets like a little bit overwhelmed, but Dollard, and he runs away and he's like screaming at them like, "You guys don't know what you're doing. You guys are making a huge mistake."
Mm-hmm.
And the drag queens are just safe in their home because they were like shaking like the three little pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they,
Yeah.
they were genuinely
I
worried.
mean, at least they discovered at that point in time they hadn't killed him, but they were probably in more danger because
Well,
he obviously unhinged.
yeah,
So,
they're medical experts and legal experts. They're like, "Ooh, we're in real trouble."
oh
Um,
man. Um, And so then after that moment, the car is fixed and they're all ready to head off into the sunset and leave this little town a little better for its gay invasion. And Stockard Channing has two of the best lines, most quotable lines in the movie all along. She says that she knew the whole time because she says to Vita, you have an Adam's apple. Women don't have Adam's apples.
women don't have a Adam's apple. She says super weird. Sorry.
Yeah. No, cute little moment that's like whatever because John Leguizamo barely has an Adam's apple in that film. I don't know what he's doing with his neck, but he's
But when you look up at Patrick Swayze, it's just Adam's apple.
yes. Patrick Swayze cannot hide
His Adam's
the
apple.
the atom of his apple. Um,
You have an Adam's apple. Women don't have an Adam's apple.
that's great. But the last thing she says to Vito Bohem is so good. She says, I don't think of you as a man or a woman. I think of you as an angel. And Vito Bohem is just super chill. I think that's healthy. Chef's kiss. Chef's
I think
kiss.
that's healthy. Just a little shrug,
Yeah,
like
just I think that's healthy. Um, I love
medical
it.
expert.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
That's not even the end of the film. And
Oh yeah. So after they leave the town all together, we get a great closing number of them at the competition. Is it the next year?
I think it might have been next. Do
It's
they just
it's
stay in California?
it's not clear if it's the following year after they've won and they're going back to support their friend, or if somehow Chi Chi just upstaged them in the
I always
week.
thought this part.
In the week that the rest of the week that it took to drive out to California, they just made her such a glamorous queen that even though she didn't qualify in the other event, she won. But either way, it's a beautiful montage of all of these super glamorous queens, and Chi Chi's in the middle, full queenly
Revealed as a
reveal.
with all her princess points stacked up to a full queen title. She gets a crown from Julie Newmar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Julie Newmar
Yeah.
presents the final crown, and it's really lovely. And Noxzema and Vita actually, like, I think, do a little curtsy towards her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't remember much about the princess points, but it is worth talking about how Chi Chi Vita convinced Chi Chi to be honest with Bobby Lee because poor little Bobby Ray's heart will be broken, and they really
Well, yeah, that
tear her
was part of
down.
the dialogue during their fight
It
scene
was their
while,
fight
yeah,
scene, yeah.
while they were arguing about two things at one time, and both of them had to deal with revealing themselves as potentially revealing themselves as drag queens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Chi Chi is trying to make this point about how this boy loves her and he won't care and she's just going to stay there. And Noxema is like, that's not going to happen. And then at the same time, Vita's like, we need to go help this woman who's getting beat by her husband. And Noxema's like, that'll get you killed. And so then they start kind of bickering back and forth. And yeah, so
Like, how was your plan any better than my plan? You can't
mm-hmm,
save everybody, yada yada yada. You can't hide, and they really do jump on each other. Like,
mm-hmm.
it is a mess, but I think it's a heartwarming mess because it's part of Chi Chi was like, why can't I have anything nice? Why don't I deserve a man who loves me? You'll never know what it's like to have a man who loves you because you're too old and you're too yada yada yada. And I'm a young, beautiful girl, and you need
Mm-hmm.
to let me have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think they closed the snap the book on like, fine, you want to mess it up, go ahead, yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, like Chi Chi does come around and realize like I can't go with you. There's just things about me that you'll never understand. And he's like, I'm willing to understand. It's like, that's fine for now, yada
Well, the
yada.
thing that she says, that he says, that gives her pause is if you love someone, you don't lie to them.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh shit, I need to let this man go. Which is fine. She doesn't even give him the opportunity of just telling him the truth and seeing how he reacts, probably because she wants to protect herself. And that's a reality we've all faced in some way or
Yeah.
another. So yeah, that's how
That is how that happens.
that
Yeah.
happens.
And Chi Chi gently nudges him towards Bobby Ray and lets him know, like, there's someone else, there's someone here for everybody and
Mm-hmm.
in the world. And, you just have to look in unexpected places or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. It was
Um,
heartwarming. It was so cute. Sweet little Bobby Ray gets Bobby Lee after all.
yeah. Um,
And Chi Chi says, you better treat that man good or whatever. And that was really sweet. Because he comes out and I think he comes up to ask her out on a date and he goes inside. Chi Chi goes inside and pushes Bobby Ray out there. And then they seem to see each other for the first time.
Bobby Ray's like standing in the shadows. It's like a stage moment. Like he was supposed to maybe meet Chi Chi,
Mm-hmm.
but Bobby Ray is like standing there waiting for him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, pretty great.
Again,
Um,
drag queens saving the town and making
mhm,
unrequited love requitable.
yeah. Um, I thought when you paused after saying it was Julie Newmar that gave them gave Chi-Chi the crown. I thought you were going to bring up the fact that we haven't even mentioned Julie Newmar.
We haven't even mentioned
So
Julie Newmar.
before, rewind all the way back to the beginning of the film. Before Williams, they're sitting at a restaurant. Robin Williams makes a brief cameo, says something about exchanging plane tickets for a car. But while they're sitting there waiting for him to get back with the cash or whatever, behind Vita is a framed portrait of Julie Newmar that says, "To Wong Foo, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar." Um, and that's as much explanation as we ever get. They even kind of, I think maybe they even make a joke in the film about like who's Wong Foo, and it's not said. It just exists in its own thing.
It's not
And
even the
so
restaurant. The restaurant isn't Wong Fu's.
no, yeah. So then they just take that picture with them as like
A
a
sign
message, a sign that they should,
that they're on the right trip.
spread beauty across the world.
Because she's so statuesque.
Because she's so statuesque. And then at the end they do meet her.
Even
So
the middle ground, that's where Vita and Stalker Channing, have like a little moment like, you know what I want you to have? Here's a little picture that has been helping me through these hard days. A little picture of Julie Newmar.
yeah.
She's like, oh, Julie Newmar. I always thought she was so statuesque. And
Mm-hmm.
then Vita says like, my sentiments exactly, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is how gays talk. I'll talk like that.
Yes. Gays talk like 1950s housewives.
Check.
Have you saw a drag queen in real life? When was the first time you saw a drag queen in real life?
I think it was at the Q, God rest her soul.
Can you
Um,
explain that that is a gay bar in Lincoln, Nebraska
I'll do
that
it on
no
my own
longer
terms.
exists? No.
I mean, you just did it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, you could have just asked me what the Q is.
I could have, but you're the one that went, God rest her soul.
So the Q burned down after it had been reblossomed as the Karma. And then it was a parking lot for a really long time. And currently they are building something there. I don't know what it is.
Probably not a gay bar.
Don't hurt my feelings.
I'm just saying.
I think that was the queen, but like the first queen I genuinely remembered would have been Jessica Bauer, the Tower of Power. The
That
one
is absolutely the first queen whose name I know.
that part.
That is absolutely true. Um, yeah, iconic. Uh, did Omaha Pride every year after coming out. So I definitely saw drag queens, was around drag queens, but and I've talked about this when I was talking to Sindhu about the L word, um, having a queer bar in town that let 19-year-olds in,
Club kids.
yes, quickly turned us into club
Your
kids.
club kids.
Um,
Thank you, Monsters Ball.
but not.
It was not that level.
No,
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 it really wasn't.
no, not at all. We mostly, yeah, were able to drink and still go to our classes the next day. Then we pre-gamed. We did not drink at the bar for the most part. I don't
We
remember
didn't
any.
drink at the bar.
No,
In the
we had
parking
one.
lot.
We had one. Yes, in the parking lot. We had a friend who had a fake ID, and once we had to carry him out of the bar.
What was
But no, for the most part, we were fairly good
that?
kids
Yes, we were.
who still drank alcohol because we were college kids and having fun, but mostly still went to our classes and
Did our
yeah.
thing.
But we were exposed to drag culture very early, and I and you have both performed, and Sindhu. We all performed on that stage, me and drag. Um,
And doing a drag.
Sindhu and drag maybe once.
It's
Sindhu
a
just did,
it's queer. So like that was all Sindhu's thing. Was that
yeah,
I don't
yeah. What is gender?
what is drag?
What is drag?
One
Um,
must have gender to drag. Is that true?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Deep questions. But
Probably
yeah,
not.
my I will not call it my drag king era because I don't think going by this film standards I ever was a drag king. I think I was a drag prince that never earned all of his points. I am not good at dancing. And like it's important to maybe dance to be on stage as a performer. Bits, my preferred bits are like taking like scenes from movies or scenes from theater and just being absurd with them. Like I really enjoyed when I did Mary Sunshine from Reefer Madness and I was
Hmm.
Ralph. That's probably my favorite thing I've ever done in drag. Um, yeah, just absurd things like, and I think there's more room for that now in drag culture. I think there's a lot more like comedy and weirdness, but definitely at the time, at the Q, especially for those guys who were all very talented
Pop.
in,
It was pop R&B beauty.
yeah,
They
and
they
like,
were so handsome. Like I remember
yeah,
I was recently talking to a friend about this, like why I didn't. I was talking to my friend, yes, my fiance. I was talking to my fiance about um why I never like try to put myself in or date someone in that group. Um, because I just assumed that they were all into women. And yeah, like this was like one of those moments where like sexuality and gender presentation, there was there was an option there. But I didn't take it because like, no, no, they're into women. They don't look at me. They don't go looking at me. So that's not gonna work. Um, but yeah, and it wouldn't have worked.
mm,
Not then. Um, you know, that was really wild.
that's
Wild times.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, just coming out to you, just opening up.
I also never thought about pursuing any of them romantically. So I don't know what that's about. Um, I mean, it was fun. It really was doing drag and like being on stage and performing and just kind of like being silly with it. But
And it's pretty neat to be able to talk about that with people, with my friends. Like I've had friends talk to me since they watched Pose or since they've watched other queer media where people are performing as part of their community, and not
mhm.
everyone does that. Not everyone
Like
takes center stage, if you will.
yeah, or gets the opportunity to.
Hmm.
Like some, and I think that's another like weird thing about being in a
Small town venue.
kind of small
Hmm.
town compared to a big town, 200,000 people, but in Lincoln, Nebraska, and you know, it's a gay bar, so the community is still very small. Um,
I've dated people who have bragged about being in theatrical absurdness,
mhm.
and doing really weird skits and stuff and calling it a show or advertising it as a show as like a Tuesday or Wednesday night show.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, there's definitely that. It's a unique piece of our Lincoln culture.
Hmm. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done it. I don't really have any interest in doing it again. Like when I see pictures of myself, I'm like cringe. Like
You get
I
cringed.
get cringe. I'm like, oh, why, kid? I don't know. Um, yeah, I'm not like, oh, I need to go do that again. I need to lip sync to a song and wear facial hair because that's all it was. And I'm not saying that's all that good drag kings do because that's not true,
So you're
but
saying you're
that's
not a
what
drag.
I was doing. I was never a drag king. I never made it to that level.
Mhm.
I was just a girl with facial hair, lip syncing.
Yep, just girl in a facial hair.
Just a girl in a facial hair. Um, which is weird because I consider myself more non-binary now, but my masculinity still isn't that person or like whatever. Like I don't see that as like, yeah, I don't know.
Not Tommy Sky.
Um,
I never had the guts to do drag at all. I complained about it. I remember wanting to see like really convincing drag, but then again, I didn't know. I grew up in Texas, and my background on judging women was the Miss America contest, and no joke, it was toxic. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm glad that I eventually learned to shut
Hmm.
up and just accept what I had.
Yeah. There's also like, yeah, I don't know if it's like a jealousness, not necessarily from you, but like
I can get
some
jealous.
like I've heard like complaints like why don't they actually sing? Like why are they lips? Like what is the art form, right? Um,
What is the art form? Wow, yeah.
yeah. And that is the answer is like whatever. Like it's just performance art. It's all just a performance.
Mhm.
Whatever it is. Even if they just went up there and read a poem in a dress, it would still
Oh,
be
that's been an
drag.
option. Vagina monologues.
You could literally read
Yeah.
anything. You're in a dress. That's all it
Love
is.
that.
Anything. Wearing facial hair.
uh,
That's literally it for
yeah,
Tommy Sky, guys. I keep bringing it back to that, but like my hair was that haircut.
that's it.
Yeah, so took us a while to really become acclimated with drag culture. I think maybe even I had a period of discomfort, kind of like you were saying, where like I didn't understand it, or I'd be like, why would anybody want to do that? Went away the second I was around people at a gay bar who were
Mhm.
doing it and having fun and being wholly themselves in and out of drag and just living their best lives. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it went away pretty quickly, but I did have a period of that. Um, do want to acknowledge that Too Wong Foo, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar, stars a bunch of cis het men. So we know. We don't actually ever know anybody's identity. We only
Personal
know,
lives,
yeah,
really.
yeah. We only know what their publicist is willing for us to know. Uh, but regardless of that, it was important to me growing up and is still really fun to watch, guys. I'm sorry. It's fun.
For me, it was a romantic moment that I could keep on going back to, and enjoying like, oh, I remember this. I remember these feelings that I had, and um, yeah, just a nice warm time in my life. We watched that movie so many times. I was telling you before we started filming, probably once a month.
With
Um,
you and your first love.
First love, college sweetheart, and yeah, just a lot of time like getting high
Your
and
first love.
being in pajamas, watching that.
Mm.
Good old clean fun.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye, buddies.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Gay2k, the podcast today. As always, you can find me on social media, or you can email me directly at gay2kpod@gmail.com. Take care.